I know that as an organization, we're really on the path to trying to openly encourage people with disabilities to apply for opportunities, because we do want disability representation and we want disability confidence insights in our business. So one of the things that's really important for recruiters is to be able to make people feel confident to disclose or declare that they've got a disability during the recruitment and selection process, because that really helps us then say, okay, well, great, thanks for trusting us to declare, and let's make sure that the entire process for you is fair and gives you an equal opportunity to showcase your talents. And so for me, one of the things we need to recognize is during the interview, that reassurance that people can feel comfortable to declare a disability becomes so important. I think the reason why people really hesitate to declare they've got a disability is that there has been so much systemic discrimination against people with disabilities, either well-intentioned or not. But people know the negative impact of declaring that they've got a disability. In fact, there's so many surveys out there showing that if somebody applies for a position and they say they've got a disability versus using a different profile but applying exactly the same CV for the same position, saying that they don't have a disability, that 9 times out of 10, they only get shortlisted if they say that they don't have a disability. And if they do say they have a disability, it works against them. So that is unfortunately the realistic experiences of a lot of people with disabilities. So in the interview, you want people to feel very comfortable to tell you the realities of the disabling barriers, and to feel really confident that that information is going to be used in a way that's going to rather help you explore enablers and really figure out the nuts and bolts of how we're going to make sure that you've got an equal opportunity to perform in the role, rather than it being something that they need to downplay or hide from you because they're worried it's going to work against you. And how do we do that? Well, the first thing we do is we make it clear in the interview that why we want to know. So for me, it's about saying our organization is really committed to ensuring that we're building disability confidence, and we know it's a journey. So one of the reasons why we ask you to declare or disclose a disability is because your lived insights give us a lot of information on how to do this better. So for our employees with disabilities in this organization, it's not designed to work against you. It's designed to recognize the valuable insights that you have to share and to help us travel this journey towards doing better in this space. So straight away, you position that person or that applicant with a disability as having extra value to bring, as opposed to it working against them. The second thing is let people know what you're going to ask, because a lot of people will get a little bit uncomfortable because you're starting to ask questions that they may feel is very personal. So another way to deal with that, for example, is it's not okay to say to somebody, so tell us about how you lost your leg. That's not relevant in the environment. So what you can do is you can say, we might ask you 1 or 2 questions around the functional impact or the enablers that you might need in the position based on your disability and what you've disclosed. And it would be really great if you could just help us navigate that conversation as it's related to the job. So, for example, so instead of saying what happened to your leg, you would go, the job requires you to do quite a lot of long distance walking and carrying. And I note that you use a prosthetic limb. Is there something that we need to do to perhaps support you in getting that done? Or how does that impact? Or what do we need to know that we can make adjustments for in the role, if any? You're being really respectful and you're giving examples of how you intend to enable rather than it working against them. So what might we need to know that's important for us to explore? And that's because as an interviewer, you know the job, you know the context. They know their abilities and they know the disabling barriers. So together, if you bring that information together, you can explore what are the likely barriers that you may experience and what can we do to remove those, so that when we go and say this is a great candidate and we present you to the line manager, or we're considering making the job offer, that we can almost picture how this is going to be good, this is going to work, and this is how we're going to do it. What do we do with that information? It's really important that people feel reassured that this information is confidential. Remember, some of it is a bit personal, some of it might be it's a trust thing. And they might not want to show up on the first day with everybody knowing their business. So for me, it's important to say the information that we get from this interview relating to your disability will be treated with confidence, and we really do reassure you of that. We will share information based on what you're comfortable with. We'd like to chat to the line manager about it because, ultimately they're going to make the decision. Are you comfortable with us sharing some of this information in this way? So always make sure that you reassure them that you won't be sharing information that is not relevant or that they haven't agreed to share and are very comfortable with. Where is this information recorded? Again, in terms of your HR systems, you need to say this data is not recorded anywhere. It's not going to be kept on our system, or it's in a confidential file with just the HR faculty. Are you comfortable with that? So let people know where this information is recorded and why. We keep it on record because we've got a leadership development program that gives preference to some of our applicants with a disability. So if we can mark that you have a disability, then that's obviously going to flag you first in that opportunity. So that would be an explanation of why you were keeping that information, and are they happy with that? Lastly, how this declaration will impact. So you can say directly, the reason why we want you to feel comfortable to share some of the disability related considerations in the role is it helps us really be able to visualize how we can support you and give you an equal opportunity to do that. We're on the learning journey. You're the expert. So we rely on you to kind of help us navigate how we could get this done. So tell them that this declaration is going to be working for the benefit of both of you in terms of the outcome, which is we want to find the best candidate for this position. We're going to make sure that you've got the best opportunity to showcase your abilities. And the more we can preempt potential barriers or concerns, and we have solutions for that, the more likely we are to be able to get all the stakeholders to go double thumbs up from us. We love them. Let's hire them. I hope that helps. It's just some of the realities. Remember that people need to learn to trust, and they've only just met you in an interview, so that trust might not be there yet. And so you really need to bring in those professional reassurances that this is why it's important, this is what we want to know, and we're only going to consider factors that you think are important in the specific relation to the job for which you're applying. I really hope that helps.